Hey, welcome back to another episode of From My Mat to Yours podcast, hosted by yours truly, Kenya Marsh, your mindset coach and yoga bestie. Previously, I just provided an episode on the weekend of just my thoughts and how to deal with being home with the kids during this pandemic and uncertain times that we're in. This week, I'm going to share some insight and some things that helps me get through the day and some tips that I actually share with some of my clients to help them as well. So, are you ready to hear some new tips and how to keep your sanity amongst all of this and not get tied up into fears? Great. Let's get started. We already know every time we look at our phones, we look on the computer, it's everywhere. There's something going on that just make you shake your head, and it's just like, really? There's always something new, some new development. And some of that could put you into a spiral of mixed emotions. I know I'm having mixed emotions, but I've been doing well anchoring myself to stay steady and keeping myself busy and occupied, and also reaching out to family and friends to make sure that they're doing the same. The last thing we want to do in a time like this is get caught up into this matrix of fear. You don't want to feel that you're being punished, but you do want to take precaution and make sure that you and your family is safe and everyone's doing their part. A lot of us just have to stay home, and there's a lot of us out there who have to work still. I know I have a few family members who are essential employees who are out there working crazy hours right now to make sure that those of us who are home is able to get what they need, use the electricity that we have power, have supplies. Those who work in the warehouses, those who are working in the hospitals, they're tired and they're working endlessly. So we all have to do our part. But what we don't want to do is lower ourselves down to being scared of this unknown. I know it's crazy because no one really has the answers, and I feel it's like a big freestyle. It's just making it up as we go because no one really knows, and it's scary to not know. And especially if you're used to having control, you're used to being ahead and having a plan. And I know for me, I like to plan, and plans change. And that's something I've learned over the time. I even shared episodes, not foreseeing any of this, but just the fact that we have to learn how to pivot. You have to move and adapt, adjust and adapt. That's part of our evolution. That's part of our life. That's part of growth. We can't be stagnant. We can't be stuck and on a hamster wheel. So what I would suggest, and what helped me this week and brought up like a light bulb for a lot of my clients and family members, is letting you guys know to use this time to tap into yourself and discover some newfound strengths you wasn't aware of. This is where your true awareness can come into play. Now, if you are a work-at-home parent, first, you have to find time and a better schedule where you can work. And then if you have kids, depending on the age group, you have to make sure that they are set so they won't disturb you from work, which that's enough stress as it is. And I've known tips on that. If you have kids ages 4 and up, you can set time, educational activities for them. If you have coloring books, set a time when they can color. Then you can set up their tablet to show a learning app. I just found out yesterday, and I shared this with my mother, because my little cousins who she's raising are ages 4 and 5. And Duolingo, which is a free language learning app, actually released a reading app that's teaching kids ages 3 through 6 how to read for free. So I had her download that so she can keep them busy, so she can have some time to work, while my stepbrother is also needs some peace and quiet so he can do his online courses. For my kids, since they're a little older, like I've mentioned before, I have them on a set schedule, and this week their teachers started to reach out, so they even created some extra activities for them, and they're actually meeting up on Zoom. So I have them on their learning devices, communicating with their teachers and sticking with our schedule that I've created for them, and partnering up with the teacher and working with the schedule that stays within, breaking it up so they have time to still move around, exercise, play. But that's keeping them busy, and that's how I'm able to do this podcast and teach my classes and reach out to my students online. It's not going to be easy. Every day could be a different challenge. Every day is something different. So, and every day could feel like Groundhog Day, if you ever seen that movie. Definitely change up the schedule a little bit. Do something different so you could stay on top of what day you're in. Have your calendar up. Have a desk calendar. Have your calendar on your fridge. Cross out the days so you know what day you're in. Because at some point, we're going to get back into the swing of things where we're going to be back out the house. And you want to make sure you stick with some sort of a similar routine for yourself to keep you going. But when work is done and you need to reset, because again, newfound territory, self-care is more important now than ever, right? So some things that you can do as a family, or you can do individually. I have a few recommendations of stuff that I just started doing this week with some of my clients, as well as some family members and friends, including my kids. Read a book. Reading is something I love to do. I wake up extra early just so I can get it out the way before I start my work for the day, and then before my kids wake up. I just finished the book written by Michelle Obama, Becoming. Very, very good read. If you haven't read that book, highly recommended. Or any other book in any favorite genre that you have sitting by your bed, near your couch, and you just haven't got time to get to it, use this time to get to that book and complete that book. I've been doing like a few chapters a day, so I put an hour aside just for reading. You can do that, or 30 minutes a day. Set a time that works for you and your schedule, and do some in a day and some at night. During lunch breaks, I do online Zoom classes, so I help my clients actually release some stress and get away from sitting for a long period of time. And we do a hour-long yoga class. If you don't have an hour long for a break, feel free to look up some 20-minute, 30-minute workout videos or yoga videos, and you'll be able to still, something that can keep you moving just for either your 15-minute break or your hour or 30-minute lunch break, just so you can break it up. But do make sure you're getting your breaks on time. It's hard since you're not at a workstation. If you're not used to doing this at home, you still want to follow your breaks. So every 15 minutes, get up, walk around, move. Prepare your lunch ahead of time, so when lunchtime comes, you have that going. And, right after, you can do some movements. You can get that done. Or you can save your workouts for after you get off work so you can get some of that stress out. Because the last thing you want to do is, now you're home, the stress that you used to have at work, you didn't want to bring home, but it's home now. So now it's all about knowing how to redirect that energy so you won't take it out on your kids or your spouse or your partners. And you keep that still work life balance going as best as you can. The next thing this weekend, I'm going to be doing some new projects with the kids. We've been looking up PBS Kids is a great site, and there's homeschool scientists. They send out weekly emails with different projects, science related, that you can do, experiments. So I'm using stuff around the house. Since we're in the middle of moving, I have a couple of boxes, so my son wants to turn those into robots. That's going to be what I'm going to jump into this weekend. And I've been looking up, there's a sewing pattern to make face masks. So my daughter has a mini sewing machine, and I'm going to break out my sewing machine since it's been some years. And that's going to be a project that I'll be doing with her. Outside of that, my mother, she just rearranged the whole house, and she's been home, and that's her therapy. Changing up the space and changing the perspective of how your furniture layout is. If you have time and you've tired of facing one window, shift your bed, shift your couch, move stuff. And those are the tips that I have. So the main point, I would say, to keep you from getting hung into fear and glued to the phone and just checking every update, and hearing all these things that, there's a lot of good news because people are recovering. The environment is not being polluted as much. There's some things that you can look for some type of a positive outlook. But the key is, I don't really look at my phone that much. I look at it in the morning to check the weather. I get the news headlines, and then I put it down. I don't look at the news the rest of the day. Maybe after dinner, I'll catch up on it again. But then I'm doing something, so that is not on my mind before I go to bed. You don't want to bring any of that to your bed. You don't want to bring any negative emotion into your bedroom, because you want to have a peaceful sleep. And you want to be clear so you can still be that beacon of light for your family members and your kids if you have them. My thing is, keep yourself busy. Find something that you can stay occupied when you finish working. If you are able to work from home, or if you have to work from home, once you clock out, find something else to keep you busy where you won't get caught up watching this and looking at that. Binge watch one of your shows, then binge watch family movies. Look up some old nostalgia movies. I just rewatched The Little Mermaid with my kids. It's one of my favorites. And The Lion King again. They're older now, so we haven't watched it in a couple of years. So find stuff that can get you going. Board games. I just started back playing Monopoly with the kids again. That and Uno. It's very vicious in my household. But it's fun, and it helps us pass time until it's time to get ready for bed. So that way TVs are off, and it's just connection time to connect. So use this time to connect with your loved ones any way that's comfortable and natural for you guys. Keep yourself busy, and just know that we will all get through this. We just got to keep taking it one day at a time. So I'm going to leave on that note. Feel free to download this and share this with anyone you feel that might need to hear this message for the day. I will still keep you updated as I go into week 3 of being home with the kids and family. And any other newfound tips, I'll gladly pass that on to you guys. Hopefully that will help you and keep you sane amongst it all. And keep moving. Keep drinking water, Stay calm and healthy. And I will roll out the mat next Friday and get right back on here with you. Until next time, have a wonderful day.